who would be telling us more about what all we should, think before making any commitment towards marriage with anybody, be it love or arranged. So how we will go about it is I will be presenting certain slides, and Dr. Menon will be talking about it on the same. And in case if you have any queries, you can always ask on chat, which she will revert to post the session, right? After the entire webinar is done. Okay, so over to you, Dr. Menon. Please let me know when should I share the slide, and I will.
Okay, you can start.
Okay? All right.
Start. Let us be at least punctual.
Yes. One moment, please. Can you see the slide?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Over to
Uh,
you.
Thank you. I think most of you all, there might be some people who are married, some who have been engaged, and many of you have not reached engagement or marriage. Marriage is most important milestone in life of a boy or a girl. It's really the most important milestone. The marriage could be arranged one or a love marriage. And when you are married, there are certain things which you must know and must practice. One is respect your partner, be it a boy or a girl. I mean, the girl has to always respect her would be or husband, and the husband has to respect the wife. Should be ready to support and help each other, which that is very, very important. Support and help each other not only financially, but also mentally, physically, psychologically. And the interpersonal relationship between the two partners needs to be very good. Sometimes most of the quarrels or certain things which break the family is because of poor interpersonal relationship, because certain things are not told to the partner and partner misunderstands. It's better to be, I mean, tell the things, and so that there is no misunderstanding. Misunderstandings do occur even amongst friends, but misunderstandings between the partners can cause a chaos in the family. And remember, you should always be loyal to your partner. I mean, marriage is such a relationship which most of us who are married consider it to be a holy relationship. All of us, whichever religion we always get married in an atmosphere where divinity exists and enjoy being together. That's very, very important. Huh? And good relationship with the relatives. Because it's, I mean, once you get married, the in laws, you should consider them to be your own people. You cannot say, oh, that person is a sister in law, brother in law, or mother in law. It is for both partners. I mean, each one has to look upon the other's family as their own. The one family becomes, I mean, the two families become one family in every respect. If we keep these things in mind, I'm sure the marriage would be a success. Yes, many a times it is the woman who has to sacrifice certain things. But don't feel it bad. Because for the sake of peace and harmony in the family, we can always do that. We are the Shakti, the Durga. We can be angry, but at the same time, we can also bring happiness to everyone. So let us not be the angry Durga, but let us be the Durga who looks after the family very well. Okay.
All right. So we have divided the entire the kind of questions that one can ask to the to the partner, to the would be partner. We've divided them into few categories. So about which Dr. Menon would be talking. So first and foremost, the first category that we'll be talking about is his family. Yes, ma'am. Over to you.
Uh, in in the past, I remember for the arranged marriages, we never met our partners and talked and all those things. But in present, the situation is entirely different. The girl also wants to know how their family is, how many siblings are there, the relationship with the immediate and extended family, whether there is a joint or a nuclear family, any family history of diseases, because the girls have become educated and also mostly they have started working and they are empowered with knowledge. So when a parent says, okay, we are thinking of your marriage with such and such, she may ask, okay, how is their family? What is it? The parents would be finding out only about the financial part, their how they are, their status in the in the local area where they are staying, and about the boy, how is he? What's his job? What's his pay or salary? Whereas the boy's family would be looking at the girl's parents' conditions, how they are, how much is the girl educated, can she do the home work? I mean, whatever is work in the home, can she do that? Can she cook? Can she look after the people? All those things they would be asking the girl. Now, see, now everything has changed. Now, both are educated and they may ask certain questions which was never asked before. So that is very, very important. And of course, family history of diseases is very important. Why I'm talking? Because now everybody is educated. And if you ask such questions, they're not going to feel bad about it. But it's the way you ask. And the thing is, certain things we may not be able to know. Relationship with the immediate and extended family, that nobody says, oh, we are all very happy family and all our relations are very good to us. And if it's a joint family, well, you have to be very, very nice, and you should be able to adjust to that family life, because most of us now are living in nuclear family. We are not used to the joint family system. So what happens? The girl doesn't have the experience of staying in a joint family. But now that once you know it's a joint family, you better prepare yourself to be good with each and every one. You can't be selective, whether it's the uncle, aunt, sister, or somebody else's family all living together. They all have to be brought together. You should be the one who doesn't fight, who doesn't argue, but you know how to bring the family together. Like the five fingers in a hand, they're all different, but the hand can bring all the five fingers together. So you should be that hand which brings all the fingers together whenever required. Otherwise, they're all single. It's okay. Next.
Okay. Next is about his job and education. What all things should we be knowing about that? As in, how should we go about asking?
Well, most of the times, the girl's parents, they find out what is his job, what is the education, and many a times they go to the place where they are working and see, and also they talk to his colleagues or something without his knowledge, but to know how he is overall. I mean, as a person, how he is he? And the career goals, if the girl and the boy are together and they can ask questions, of course, the girl can ask about the career goals. Similarly, the boy can ask. If she's a working girl or lady, then they can ask, what is the thing, what is more important to you, whether it is the home or your career which is more important to you. Because many a times the women are very much career oriented, but at the same time they also know when to give career less importance than their family, because family is more important than the career. But there are some who are so career oriented, they are not bothered. They may give servants, they may do so many things, but they are most of the time working in their career part. So that sort of thing, the women can be there. At the same time, for the boys also, the girl can ask your career goals and how long, how demanding is your job, and how much time do you spend in traveling for the job, how he spends his free time. Now, some people have this traveling job throughout. So, whether the girl wants such a type of person or not, that is up to the girl's parents and the girl to decide. Because many a times that if the person has to travel 2 to 3 times in a month but gets good remuneration, they don't mind. But at the same time, when the children are there, they want the father to be there. So all those things are there. So many times you say, oh, he goes 3 to 4 times a month. That means once a week. It may be difficult, but that's up to you. If you adjust, it's all right. Similarly, I mean, actually, when the girl has such a job, the boy may not agree. That's one thing, because for every male, a female is mainly meant for home, which is a wrong thing which they are thinking. Because nowadays the girls are educated, they can go for work, they can look after home, they can do everything now. They are multi potential human beings, which a man cannot be. Frankly speaking, God has given the woman the power of managing the house, managing the children, managing the husband, and everything else. Also, at work, she may be very good. But it depends on her psyche. Many women are so much into their job, they're least bothered about their children or the home. She leaves it to the people who are looking after the home. There might be a servant, there might be somebody else who's taking care. There are somebody who's taking care of the children. But all these things affects the children's psychology also. The only thing is that both can ask how much travel and all those things, and once they tell you and you both agree to it, fine. But many a times what happens at that time, you are not traveling or you're not having a job. Maybe after a marriage you may change the job and you may have to travel. That doesn't mean that he or she was dishonest. It's how the time comes and one has to change. Sometimes people leave the job when it becomes too much of a this thing in the house, it becomes very difficult to manage. Then mostly the women will leave such a job and try to take a job where it is a time basis, so that she can spend some time at home, also in the office. It's all because we are interested in having a good income. And moreover, when we are educated to such an extent, why should we leave the job? Now, being a doctor, if somebody tells you, you don't go to the hospital, you look after the children, is it possible? You're doing harm to the person as well as to the society. And so, yes, the doctor tries to, I mean, jump between the family and the profession, but they manage to do it. Or they select such a job which has particular hours of job. So that way, they can look after the house as well as the profession. So, like that, everywhere is like that. Now, the other thing which a girl should ask or the boy should ask is how they spend their recreation time. Do they have any hobby at all? Or they just go around with the friends and come back late at home because it's free time. I'll go with my friends and have a nice time. The woman also says, well, if you can go, why can't I? I'll also go with my friends and come back. I'll also go and see a movie with my friends. See, all these things are not possible after marriage if you want to have a happy married life. You should be able to either the two families who are friends, they go together, and the women also actually, we the women have to many a times given for the harmony at home, and we should be ready to do that. And with the children, it's all the more because whatever they see in their childhood, how their parents are reacting to each other, that affects their psychology. Parents were always quarreling or arguing, all those things, the children don't like it. Why mama is talking like that to papa? Why papa is talking like this to mama? It changes the child's psyche, and then they go in another way. So always to have a harmonious family life, it's sometimes one has to give in. And as I told you before also, it is the woman who gives in many a times. It's not that she is defeated. She actually wins over him. And she becomes the queen in the house. And he may afterwards thinking, yeah, it's right. I mean, the children are growing up. After they are grown up, they may not come to me. It's better that I spend time together. All these things are happening, and all of you who are not married, please always think, as I'm talking to the girls, we have to sacrifice many things in life, which we are supposed to bring joy wherever we go, whether it's home, whether it's our profession, wherever it is. Let us be the people who can bring smile on the face of whomsoever we are serving. Well, we are not serving to the husband. I'm not meaning that. You are serving to have a very good family life. That is what it is. Next is, see, then,
Next is about himself. What are
ah,
questions we should ask him about himself?
yeah, that's right. I mean, principles and values. I don't know how many girls get time with the man alone. Because if they're all sitting together, it's not possible to ask these things. Because many a times, okay, the men's family come with everyone and they see the girl and then they go. But they hardly give time to the boy and the girl. Sometimes they say, okay, you go to another room and talk to your both, each of you talk and find out whatever you want to. But they are so much shy to ask any question. But sometimes you do get, and you cannot, these all these things which I have written is not necessarily uh, it is all the things which I'm talking is not necessarily possible to each and everyone. But if you get a chance, you better ask regarding principles and values, habits and daily routine, alcohol, smoking, who is the closest to him in the family. Well, we can always ask whether it's your mother, father, or your sister, or your brother. Then, how was his childhood? That one can ask. How did you spend? How was your the childhood and all? But it depends how much time you get to talk to each other. With regard to loan and debts, it may be a little difficult to ask uh, because you have to ask in a very different way. You can't just say how much loan you have or how many debts you have. You can't ask like that. But in a diplomatic way, any financial problems, that way, and that's all. And that should be savings we will not ask, because he may think that we are marrying him for money. But I'm sure that you have enough saving to look after a family, even if I'm not working. That way, you have to put. Then, whether the person and the family are vegetarian, non vegetarian, because a person who's vegetarian cannot even see non vegetarian dishes on the table. They can't even the smell. I won't say fragrance. For a vegetarian, it becomes a smell. So that is important. And also, when we are talking of food and all, we can also say what, I mean, how much you give to religion. It's for both the partners. What are the views on their religion? And if it's a inter-religion marriage, it's very, very important, because both are different religion. How are they going to adjust? And basically, what I found in my practice or in my experience is that many a times love marriages occur, it is interreligion. In the beginning, everything is fine. But the family, most of the family, they want their own religion person. In case it is not, they want to convert the person into that, which is very difficult, because you have been following certain faith, and suddenly if somebody tells you to change, you may change, but what you learned during childhood never goes. So there could be sometimes fight over those things. So one has to think a lot about marriage. Marriage is really very, very important milestone in your life, which can make or break your life. Then, of course, I mean, about the kids, whether what does he think? We both are working now. The kids, who will help us? Do you think that the woman can ask? Do you think that I will have to leave the job if the kids are there to bring up the kids, or can we have a help? All those things, if she can during that time. But sometimes it's very difficult before marriage is even decided to ask these questions. It's only when it's going to be finalized and you just say that there are certain questions which I would like to ask because I'm a working woman and I would like to know these things. That is openly doing. Then who will do the household work and who will take the responsibilities? I do not know how many men say, okay, I will cook, you can do the other things, or I will clean up the place, you can do the other things. Because these boys have not been brought up that way in our country. Abroad, you see, they are brought up, they do everything. I mean, they wash their clothes, they wash the utensils, they cook, everything. I've seen them doing it. But in India, boy just goes out to buy things. All outside things he's allowed. In the house, even if he washes the plate, oh, why did you do it? We'll do it. That's how. But if they see their father doing such a thing, they will learn. Yes. From but these all things have to be inbuilt during childhood. After 10, if you want to tell them you wash the plate, no, keep it. That servant will come and do it. Yes, servant will come and do it, but you should know how to clean in case the servant doesn't come and you have to wash. So you do it and no, I know that okay, you know it. But most of the men previously, now I do not know, but previously they were not allowed to do any of the kitchen work or the cleaning job. Nowadays, yes, because you find more of mothers working. So they start doing all those things. But in spite of that, many a times the working woman says, no, 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 he is my son, he will not do. Daughter will do it. Why? Daughter and son are equal. Both should know how to do the things. That is what, and nowadays people are doing it. And of course, one has to be responsible, both because if one falls sick, the other should be able to help. Then maybe you can find out who are his friends, their lifestyles, what do they do when they hang out together. Well, what do they do when they hang out together even after marriage? They Many people don't tell you. So
That's true.
I mean, of course, one has a this thing to ask. By what did you do? How was your this? How we enjoy it? The girls, on the other hand, oh, we did this, we did that, and this thing, that thing. We the women or the girls are very good chatting box. So we go on chatting and we tell everything, whereas the husband doesn't tell you everything. Where he is, acha, what happened? No, nothing. We just talked, discussed, we went around and saw, that's all. But in detail, you will not. But whereas if women go, they say, we went to such and such restaurant and then we had this, we had that, all the details will come out. So that's the difference between a man and a woman. And it's okay if the husband tells you, fine, you're lucky. And lifestyles of the friends, it has to be similar to the husband, because all usually certain things have to be common, then only they are friends. But yes, who are his friends, then you should say that. If you're I mean you the woman should say, why don't you invite them so that I can meet their partners also and you can have good time also. So let us call them, invite them, like that. But a working woman hardly has time, so she will not say that much. But okay, once in a way, we all can go to a restaurant and meet together. Or maybe she can say, okay, we can have tea together, because a working woman is hard pressed for time. So that is the thing. But yes, it's whatever I'm telling you, it's not question answer type. It is for you to find out how to ask these questions, because these are very, very important. That too, before marriage, many boys will say, why do you want to know so many things? That's another thing. The boys will never tell you like that. But in a way, when you're going together, if you're allowed to go out, and then maybe you can. But these are some of the things which we must know before marriage, so that we can have a comfortable life.
Okay.
Then,
His expectations from his
yes,
partner. What all
that
should
is,
we know in that?
yeah, it's very, very important. Because initially, if we do not know what all things he wants from the partner, like which type of dress does he prefer for his partner, traditional or modern? You have been brought up in a way, modern way, and you start wearing skirt, blouse, going about, and though they are very, very persons who don't like all these things, they're very traditional people. So actually, he expects his partner to be traditional. Now, when the partner has to be traditional and the girl doesn't like to be traditional, the incompatibility occurs. Maybe he likes the girls in modern dress, but his own wife should be traditional. That is what it is. Most of the men think like that. I mean, in India, I am not talking about abroad. Abroad, anything can be done. I mean, they are not very much particular about these things. Now, reaction if he or the partner has difficulty in conceiving. Well, the reaction is mostly the wife is blamed for not having a child. The male never thinks that he has some problem. All my experiences on infertility clients, I found that and in our clinic it was necessary that both need to be examined, the male partner by the male doctor and female partner by the female doctor. From the first visit, actually the file is made as a couple file. So then the male will come and say, madam, I'm perfectly all right. Why are you making my file? I said, if you want treatment in this particular institute, you have to make the file. Okay, if everything is normal, we'll not give you any treatment. If something is abnormal, we'll give you the treatment. So, that this thing, even doctors, couple come and say, ma'am, I'm perfectly all right. My wife has some problem. I said, if you have already diagnosed, why have you come here? So then they say, I said, no, the rule here is both have to be examined. You please, if you want the treatment from here, you have to do it. So that's how we are making now people understand that male partner can also have problems. Now, the other thing is, who will manage the household finances, especially when both are working? If single person, okay, then the male only will say, I am earning, I will give you the money, this much money for household things and all those things. When both are earning, the thing is, both can spend on their own. But then somebody who's really good at management of the finances should be do. It could be a woman or it could be a man. It depends who is better. It's not necessary that a husband only has to do it. Sometimes a woman is a better financier than the male, and sometimes a husband. So, whosoever it is, we should be able to come to that conclusion. Then, what family tradition would the partner like and to be followed by the wife and the kids? See, usually what happens is, it depends who is. Now, if you're staying in a joint family, you follow the traditions of the joint family. But if you're a nuclear family, it's a combined tradition which the woman takes in, so that both sides, it is, I mean, the children learn both the side of the family. So there might be a family which does certain things, and you get married to that family, and in your family they never used to do. So that doesn't mean that you're not going to follow that. You better combine. And if they say, no, no, we don't want your this thing, okay, fine. But slowly, slowly, when they see the good point in your tradition, they will agree. But don't say, no, I've been brought up like that. So, like, no, marriage means adjustment. And as I told you in the beginning, is the woman who adjusts and goes, because family, its most important person is the woman. She can make or break the family. And with regard to how many kids you have and all to think, well, one can't take, but at least they need kid, and they would say, yes, I need. But there are conditions where they cannot conceive, or the husband may be having a problem. They can go in for adoption. That's one way. And it's up to them. And now, in the present condition, I don't think one can have 10 children as my grandmother had. Nowadays, we have, even we were four, but then we said it's okay, but now two or three, it depends. And many a times it's for the sake of the male child. But one depends how many they want and all. We cannot make a rule that, okay, you should not have 10 children, you should not have 11 children. The only thing is that the number of children increases, mother's health decreases. The mother's health becomes very poor because she's not looked after well during pregnancy and after pregnancy also. And with so many children around, she has to do a lot of work. So, for the sake of the mother, we should have a family which is good enough. It may be two or three. I won't say one, but it depends what you want, because if there are two, they play together. If not, it's okay. At least with that child, you're all right. And there might be sometimes medical conditions in the partner or in the female, due to which they cannot have more than one. Fine, at least you have one child. But if you don't have any children, go in for adoption. And that too, you should adopt the child somewhere between 6 months to 1 year. That is usual. But of course, the government agencies are there which help you out. And now there are certain conditions wherein the woman was studying. Now, maybe the doctor had done MBBS, wants to do MD. So, after marriage and having two kids, she wants to go in for higher studies. Will the partner allow or not? That she has to know. And similarly, the male, he wants to go for higher studies abroad. I mean, it's the same condition, married and kids. Will the wife say yes to that? Well, it depends on both of them how they can say yes or no. But if the male partner says that your family should give money for my education, higher studies abroad, then of course you say, no, I don't think so. My parents can afford to give you. So that you have to say outrightly. Whether they can afford or not, they should not get into this habit. If you are going, okay, fine. But then with the children and me, I mean, the person is working, it may become little difficult. So all the things needs to be considered. Many people, what they do after marriage, they won't take any dowry or anything, and then they'll say, okay, I need this, I need a car. Tell your parents to give me a car. Why at the time of marriage you said no dowry, and now you're wanting car? Why? You have money, take it. If you don't have that much money, don't buy it. So there are certain things, but it all depends from the beginning how your relationship has been. Because these things itself can cause a lot of problems between the partners. But from the beginning, if you say, no, my parents cannot afford to give all these things, I'm working, both of us earn together and then buy it. You're not telling the partner that you buy with your money. No. After marriage, the money is ours. So, and you have to see how to manage the house. Along with that, if you can afford, it's fine. Then comes the woman, after marriage, she's so much, she remembers her family a lot, and she would like to visit her parents and family. And they sometimes, okay, you're going once, okay, fine, you go on such and such festival or this thing, you're allowed. But if you try to say, no, I want to go every other month or every 2 months or every 3 months, quarterly or half yearly and all those things, it becomes difficult. The best thing is, yes, you have the visit along with your partner to your family also, and the frequency as per the need. Now, if somebody is very sick, you will go to see, either it is a mother, brother, sister, or anyone. You would like to go. So you say, I'm going because my father is ill, or my mother is ill, or my brother is serious, so I want to go. They will not say no. So that's the way it has to be. But every other day you want to go, no, I want to go. It's hardly one day by train. Can I not go? No, it's not the question of 1 day or 2 day. It's the question now in your family. This is also family, that is also family. You have to see which is more important. Because you're helping this family also. And if nobody is there, like the parents are alone, then of course you would like to go and help them if they are in any difficulty. And I don't think the husband's family will say no. Sometimes they do say no, and then there is fight and chaos and whatnot. But we have to think peace at both ends. And it's very diplomatic way of dealing. I'll tell you, a woman needs to be a very good diplomatic person. And that too, the tone in which you ask, in which you request, How at the other time you show your love to the family members, that makes a lot of difference. So, most important is the behavior of the partner, whether it's a boy or a girl. The behavior is very, very important. And then, partner's family, in case they are unwell, yes, you have to look after them, you have to be with them. So, these are some of the expectations, and you can, from the partner, both sides, whether it's a boy or a girl. But all these things which I am talking is a practical thing which happens, and the married people know how it is. It happens, and how they can bring about harmony between the two families. Try to bring always harmony. And sometimes, the woman comes and says, in my house, it was prepared like that. I don't know about your house. Oh, better learn it. Because even simple things which we cook, which our parents did, which our mother did, we love it. But then the other side, the male also likes his mother's preparation. So you better learn. The way to win his heart is only to learn what your husband likes and learn it from the mother in law. It may be entirely a different way the mother cooks, the mother in law cooks. So, because the boy may not be knowing how she cooks, but it is so tasty when she prepares. And how are you preparing? So, instead of saying, how do I know how your mother prepares? Okay, when mother comes, I will learn from her and I will get you that food. Similarly, the boy also, when they visit the girl's house, they should not be saying, no, in our house, this, okay, this is also your house, better half's house. So you be courteous enough. But then, if the daughter has come, she should prepare what he wants so that he doesn't have any complaints. And as I told you before, also, the woman is the one who has to adjust for a peaceful life in her married life. She alone can bring the happiness and joy to the family, not the male. The male gets angry, he gets out, goes and drinks with his friends, comes back, sleeps. His worry is over. Women cannot do that. So these are some of the things which I'm talking out of certain experiences of the people whom I have met as patients. And then we have, though I'm not a psychologist, but when the people used to come who do not have children, first and foremost, I used to see what is the match between husband and wife. And I found male always saying, oh, because of her, we are not having children. I said, how do you say because of her? Did you get yourself tested? No. Then how do you say because of her? It requires two people to be normal. Then only you can have a child. Otherwise, go and adopt a child. I mean, I was very frank with them. And first, I would have called the woman, I'll take the history, everything. Then I call the husband, I'd ask him everything. And then at that time, he will say, madam, it's 10 years. And all because of her, I'm not having a child. So then I say, have you got tested? No, I'm normal. I said, she also looks normal. So that way, one comes across such types of people. And there are various types. But what I would say to all of you, as women, God has given us the power to be a Shakti who can kill, a Shakti who can bring joy. Both. We are Shakti as women. So let us have more power than males to bring a harmonious family life. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Any
Thank you
questions?
so much. Yeah. Any questions, guys? You can put it on the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask. All right. I guess whatever you spoke, it was so well spoken that there aren't any questions as yet.
The
I would.
question comes once they are married. Before marriage, before marriage, questions do
Then the
not come.
questions continue.
No, the thing is, the married, whoever is married, has already known how to have a happy family. That is also there. So there's no question from either side. Anyway, I am happy that I could talk to you all and hope some of the tips are taken to have a happy married life. It's very important in life, not only for you, but for your children. It's very, very important.
Please
Okay,
do fill up the form, the feedback form. It helps us to become better. Next week, we have social anxiety, a
yeah,
session by a psychologist who will be coming and
yeah,
talking about how to overcome social anxiety. So, if you or any of your friends are interested, please do register with us. We will be
yeah.
putting up the updates in the Mind Empowered group, WhatsApp group on Wednesday, as always. And whoever wishes to register can register. Thank you so much, all of you. Please